Welcome to today's broadcast, brought to you by Nutanix. I'm your host, Katie Bavoso from the Channel Company, and I am so excited to be back and starting off another quarter with you and Nutanix. Today, we'll review the success experienced over the last quarter and get to know some of the Nutanix leadership team and their vision for the next quarter and beyond. I'd now like to welcome Nutanix Senior Vice President of Worldwide Channels, Christian Alvarez. Christian, welcome back. It's great to see you again.
Always great to see you, Katie. Thank you. And thank you to the audience for participating and joining us today.
Christian, let's get started with a little bit of a review. Obviously, the first quarter of a new calendar year is always so exciting and filled with opportunity and potential to set the tone for the rest of the year. So can you share with me and our audience some of the highlights Nutanix and its partner community experienced over the last few months?
Well, I wish we had a lot of time and a bunch of hours to go over all the exciting stuff, but I'm just going to highlight just a few that are certainly really exciting for our partners and more importantly, our customers as well. So first of all, we just announced our new pricing and packaging. We recently unveiled this, and the reality is that we did this to streamline our portfolio, aligning our offerings with our customer use cases. And this is really important, so important for our partners, because this is really going to help them to simplify how they go to market and position Nutanix. It's going to simplify the packaging. It's going to provide metering, pricing, and so many other benefits. We've also rolled out, as part of our simplification process, our Nutanix Cloud Infrastructure, our Nutanix Cloud Manager, Nutanix Unified Storage, Nutanix Database Services, and lastly, the Nutanix End User Computing. And I'm really thrilled and very excited for what the team has put together and rolled out to the market. In addition, we've also made some new enhancements to our incentives. We went beyond just paying back-end incentives to our partners. We have over 200 partners around the world that have opted into the new Nutanix Go incentive program. And the Go program goes all the way through to incentivize the account manager and the SCs at our partners that selected to participate in this incentive program. So the more you sell, the more you can make. And again, this is based on partners that accepted and opted into the Nutanix Go program. For more details, please reach out to your channel sales manager or channel SC. They'll be happy to give you more details on that. And the last point that I'd love to share with all of you is around our partner enablement. Over 5,000 combined sales, technical, and services certifications were completed by our partners over the past 2 quarters. These are just 3 exciting things that we've done, and there's so much more that's going to happen in the next 2 quarters, and we can't wait to share it with all of you.
Now, Christian, I mentioned earlier that we'll hear from some key members today of the Nutanix leadership team. What will our audience learn about today, and why is it so important for you and your team to directly address your partner base like this?
Well, we're really focused on hiring the best and the brightest. And soon you're going to hear from Lee Caswell. He runs our marketing and solutions team. And he's going to share a lot about what are some of the industry trends, what is he seeing, and give you a little bit of insights into where Nutanix is going from a marketing perspective. And we also have a new global SC leader for the channel. And Patricia is going to talk a lot about her vision, what she has experienced and learned over her last 30 days that she's been with us. And I really can't wait for you all to hear from them.
Very exciting. Christian, thank you so much once again for joining me today. We'll be talking a little bit later on, and I look forward to speaking with you further then. Now I'd like to welcome Lee Caswell, Senior Vice President for Product and Solutions Marketing at Nutanix, for our first segment, Go to Market with Lee Caswell. Welcome, Lee.
Katie, thank you so much. It's great to be here.
It's great to have you, and thanks for making the time. Lee, first question here. You have earned yourself the description of an IT industry stalwart. So as one, please tell us about your background in working with the partner community.
Yeah, thanks so much. You know, the partner community is such a vibrant part of any company's success, really, but particularly like companies that value partners and know what they can contribute and why they need partners, right? So, but I would say, I've had the great privilege of working with companies that put partners first. And what that meant was listening to partner needs, responding to those needs, and then also, providing the right level of solution and support, right? Enablement and other aspects. And, I think you heard from Christian, right? We've got a terrific set of those I would call them instilled values here at Nutanix.
So Lee, some viewers of this town hall session today may have little to no experience as a Nutanix partner. How would you describe the unique value Nutanix can bring to their customers and, of course, their bottom line?
Yeah, I think it's really interesting when you think about the Nutanix cloud platform and what that opens up for partners in terms of services and opportunities, right? What's happened in the past, right, with our market, which was started out as hyper-converged infrastructure and is growing into now this hybrid multi-cloud deployment model, means that we're opening up services revenues for all of our partners. And so what started off as the consolidation of compute and storage, and all the storage aspects, are, the services there, by the way, are pretty rich to start with: data migration, backup, and disaster recovery. Start thinking about our ransomware protection elements. But with this hybrid multi-cloud model, which means that our software stack runs on servers, wherever servers run, including the public cloud, you've now got the opportunity to extend services revenues into cloud services. And that's a really important part, as our partners start thinking about their growth potential with Nutanix.
Lee, specifically what solutions and areas of opportunity should partners be focused on to drive their growth and profit potential?
There's three areas I think that are really important to kind of double down on, right? One is migration of databases. So you've got databases are typically running on classic SANs, right? Scale up systems. What's happening is we're headed for what I call an x86 moment here, where if you remember, we went from Unix systems where partners made a lot of money over time till the industry flipped entirely into x86 at volume. And we have the same opportunity here, right? To go and take that core HCI value and basically modernize your infrastructure on-prem. So that's kind of number one. A second one is, we've got this really interesting extension to the public cloud, and thinking about VDI, which was always a great landing spot for our hyperconverged infrastructure offering. Now you can do things like bursting to cloud and start thinking about how to go and take that. We're doing other things like DR to the cloud, but started thinking about those types of integrated hybrid cloud opportunities as a great landing spot for where you can go and take Nutanix. And finally, the third one is thinking about new applications and workloads, right? New applications tend to land on new infrastructure, right? New infrastructure runs on servers. And so you're seeing this Nutanix stack to take the latest applications, right? Which could go all the way from big data to AI, right? Into security applications. There's a great opportunity to take the newest applications and workloads, provide them an on-prem landing spot as well as a hybrid cloud extension.
So Lee, obviously we've seen a lot of pivoting in the last few years. With that said, what industry shifts are you seeing right now that are impacting the way your partners go to market with Nutanix solutions? And what is Nutanix doing to help them adapt and be successful?
Yeah, I would say, at this point, what the trends start to look like, right? You always look for a market in motion first. So we're moving from proprietary scale up systems, right, into these new modern scale out software defined architectures. Getting on that trend, we can help you there. And there's great ways to start, kind of a natural landing point. I mentioned VDI as a landing spot to start, big databases kind of moving up next, and then extending across the hybrid cloud. That trend is really unstoppable right now, because when you approach the market from a data-centric standpoint, a lot of our partners know this, right? You look at the end state, and it's going to be a distributed environment where you're looking for a consistent cloud operating model that can unify this and provide some level of an escape valve so you don't end up just blowing past all of your management capabilities. This is a really interesting opportunity for Nutanix to help our partners standardize on a product that has an NPS score of over 92. What does that mean? That means the support costs are low. Customers love the engagement they have with our product. Use that as a starting point, and you can offer the degrees of freedom a customer is most likely to need. So extending to the hybrid cloud, containers, Kubernetes, our partnership with Red Hat, for example. These are really interesting, exciting ways for partners to go and extend their value and their services revenue opportunity with Nutanix.
Lee, before we let you go, do you have any call to actions for partners who are watching today?
Yeah, I'd say this, right? A lot of partners have seen some of the early, implementations of HCI, but they should really look carefully at how Nutanix is the only HCI offering that's suitable for the enterprise database workloads that are where they've made a lot of services revenue in the past. So be prepared for that x86 moment where Nutanix is going to materially move this market. I think it's going to be like a light switch, and the services revenues for partners who lean in, it's going to be really exciting.
It certainly sounds like it, Lee. Thank you so much for joining me today and for sharing your insights and expertise with our audience.
Thank you so much, Katie.
Now let's welcome our next speaker for segment 2, Patricia Bogovici, Senior Director of Worldwide Channel Systems Engineering at Nutanix. Welcome, Patricia.
Thank you so much, Katie, for having me here.
Thank you so much for being here, Patricia. I'd love for our partners to get to know you and learn about your journey that brought you to Nutanix. Can you give us some insights into where you started your career and what attracted you to Nutanix?
Katie, it is my pleasure to share my work journey with our partners. And let me start by saying I'm a computer science graduate, and my whole career I spent it in the technical field. I started as a software developer, a backend developer. I worked with integration and messaging frameworks, business rules engines. I implemented microservices and APIs, very exciting times. But then I moved from developers to the technical sales and consulting services. And I had an opportunity to work in the cloud native space and containers and Kubernetes. And I worked together with developers and infrastructure teams to build platforms to deploy applications. One last item that I think is important to share is being part of open source software community. It's a very important aspect of my career because I learned what means the power of open source in the developer space, what it means to actually build communities of specialists that span companies and partners. Today, I am at Nutanix, and I lead the global channel system engineering team. And I chose Nutanix because I think Nutanix is uniquely positioned to win in the cloud native space. And partners play an important strategic role here because Nutanix helps partners succeed in customer environments where flexibility, security, operational efficiency, and a consistent experience in the multi-cloud hybrid cloud environment is crucial. In addition to having a strong portfolio for Nutanix, I learned about Nutanix being a great company, great people. And ever since I joined here, I can say that every day was a very enjoyable working day for me.
That's wonderful to hear, Patricia. I'm so glad you're enjoying it. So going from there, as we know, continued enablement on the ever-changing technical landscape of the industry is always top of mind for partner sellers and technical resources. What are some areas of opportunity for your partner community to invest their time in to have the right skills to meet the evolving needs of customers today?
I really agree with that statement. Our partners have complex needs because they are driven by an increased demand to create business value, either through products and services or a combination of them, because they really need to differentiate from their competition. Now, there are different ways to compete in this space, but I think one of the key important ways to compete is by building full stack solutions. And that means combining Nutanix and partner software into complete solutions that can involve hardware or software-defined solutions to build cloud-native platforms. As both Christian and Lee mentioned before me, we earlier this year released the Nutanix simplified product portfolio. And that enables our partners and customers to have the flexibility and control they need in building complex solutions in the cloud-native space. I would like to mention a couple of these, right? And both Christian and Lee mentioned before me, cloud infrastructure or Nutanix database service or Nutanix cloud platform. These all form a strong foundation in the cloud native space. When it comes to partner community, both sellers and technical experts, they can learn and be enabled in our simplified portfolio through our partner portal. In addition to that, we have a variety of workshops, hands-on trainings, and of course, advanced certification programs with our Nutanix education and university system. And last but not least, I always encourage our partner community to reach out to the Channel SE community. Our team is more than happy to help and spend in hands-on mentoring and training with our partner SE community.
Speaking of mentoring and training, actually, Patricia, that reminds me of this next question. As a woman and a leader working in the technology industry, I'm sure you're aware of the gender gap. For context, the Boston Consulting Group says even though women make up nearly half of the US workforce, they only hold 28% of leadership positions in tech. That's barely more than a quarter. Can you please share your thoughts on this statistic and tell us how you and Nutanix are working to close this gap and encourage a more diverse executive team?
Katie, I'm so happy you asked this question because this is a topic near and dear to my heart. As a woman in tech and as a woman in the technical leadership for some time, I can definitely say that D&I and gender equality policies, they do help tremendously in closing the gap. Now, there's still a lot to be done. And if you ask me personally, I would love to see more women in decision-making positions. I would like to spend a little bit of time saying what we do at Nutanix. So one of the impactful ways to basically increase leadership experience for women is to promote from within the company. So one of the initiatives that I'm directly involved is about hiring practices, working with talent acquisition to build a diverse pipeline of candidates and making sure that the D&I candidates are part of the interviewing process before we extend any offer to a candidate. That helps us first build a diverse talent pool, build a diverse candidate pipeline, and helps us really hire the best candidate for the right role. A second initiative that I'm also directly involved in is working with my peers, men allies from the executive team. And we created opportunities for executive mentorship for women in our team. We want to expose and make transparent different opportunities for additional projects and opportunities, initiatives that women can participate and increase their skill set for leadership. And last but not least, bi-dual feedback loop. So all of this really helps us create a path for women in our team and for D&I in our team for a leadership career.
Thank you so much for expanding on that, Patricia. I know that I'm really excited to see what you do and what the Nutanix leadership team does for women in tech in the future. Moving on to the last question, the Nutanix Global Tech Summit event is happening later this month and brings together your internal SE teams as well as select partners to go hands-on with the latest tools and solutions. What excites you the most about experiencing this for the first time? And how can all partners consume some of the great content from this event?
Katie, let me tell you, we are all so excited by this event because it is our first in-person event since the pandemic. And while we're all adjusting to the working environment with Zooms and calls and so on, we're all looking for in-person connection because this is how you build that community, that camaraderie. And I think we're all missing those ad hoc whiteboarding design sessions. Nothing beats that. I'm also looking forward to meeting our partners that will be part of the GTS, the Global Technical Summit. And I am very pleased to say that our partners will have access to the same technical enablement the Nutanix technical team has. And they will have access and meet engineers and leaders within Nutanix. So really our focus is to make sure that our Nutanix partners feel and experience one team Nutanix while at GTS. Now, GTS is a precursor to our conference, our partner conference later in the year, .next. But I would like to wrap it up saying, really, we're all looking forward to GTS. I know I'm looking forward to it. It's a great time to build funny and happy memories and long-lasting relations.
Patricia, thank you so much for joining me today. It was a pleasure getting to know you and to talk to you.
Thank you so much, Katie. Actually, the pleasure is on my side because really, I would love to meet as many partners as possible. Every time when I meet partners, I learn new things and there are new ideas and new solution ideas that we can work together. So really looking forward to meeting partners and working together with them.
I'd now like to welcome back Christian Alvarez for a special Q&A to directly answer partner questions. Right, Christian?
Absolutely. I love these questions from our partners.
Let's get started. And I just want to say, if I mispronounce anyone's name, I am so sorry. This first question is from Lori Deschat of Derive Technologies. She asks, how has the hybrid office workforce changed your go-to-market strategies?
It's a great question, Lori, and thanks for sending it in, and thanks to all the partners for sending in your questions. So it's such an important question, right? We all know the enterprise has moved to the home. Classrooms in certain cases have certainly moved to the home as well. Work from anywhere and everywhere is here to stay. We've proven that as a society. As it specifically relates to Nutanix, I think we've all become inside sellers. I've certainly have a brand new appreciation for all the men and women that do inside sales. This has really been one of the major transformational changes that we've undergone since COVID and all of the changes that we've all been impacted with. We've been quite effective. We've been doing a lot of enablement virtually now, and just so many other things. But I certainly look forward to getting out there and meeting with customers and partners in the near future. There's nothing better than closing that deal face-to-face with that customer, with our partners next to us.
Thanks, Christian. Next, we have a question from Craig Casey of Sanity Solutions. Great name. And he asks, how can your new licensing model benefit the partner community?
Great question. Look, earlier you heard from Lee. He did a great job of positioning the Nutanix cloud platform and how it benefits our customers. The great news is that this transition benefits you, our partners, in several ways. One, fewer and discrete product lines and SKUs, reducing complexity and enabling data services across the customer's environment. Two, consistent pricing, right? It's all about simplicity and consistency and predictability. And this allows for metering that and drive out the SKUs and licensing complexity so that our customers and our partners can consume and purchase our solutions that much easier. And number three, consistent starter pro and ultimate bundles helps you position the value based on customers' needs and provides simplified upsell options and features.
All right. And then our last question is from Dennis Farrell of SHI. What advantages does Nutanix have for customers with hybrid cloud initiatives?
What an important and relevant question. In our latest Enterprise Cloud Index, which surveyed a little over 1,700 IT professionals, 85% of them stated that hybrid cloud is their preferred operating model. That says it all, right? With the introduction of our Nutanix Cloud Platform, inclusive Nutanix Cloud Infrastructure Management and Unified Storage, we can provide your customers with the simplicity and agility of the public cloud alongside the performance and security, and more importantly, the control of a private cloud. This means we can help protect the existing investments by future-proofing it, right? So being able to use our solution with AWS, soon to be with Azure on NC2. And just as a reminder, NC2 is the new name, used to be called clusters. It also expands our partners' market opportunity. Now you can be part of the cloud conversations with your customers and the conversation to their journey to the cloud. What a great question.
Christian, we've heard some excellent comments from the Nutanix leadership team today, and we've learned so much. I know you said you wish you had hours to talk about some of these subjects, and obviously we can't do that. So before we close, I'd like to ask you to please share your final thoughts with our audience, and what can they do to learn more following our broadcast today?
Look, it's all about enablement, right? The more we learn, the more we read. We have a wealth of information at our partner portal. If you haven't logged in, do so immediately. Reach out, work closer with your channel sales manager, your channel SCs, our amazing men and women, our account managers and SCs out on the market. We are better together. Let me make it very clear. We go to market with our partners. We do not go direct, and we are better together with our partners and our entire partner ecosystem. So I can't thank enough all of our partners for all the great work, everything you do for our customers and our great partnership. Thank you.
Christian, thank you so much. And one more thank you to all of today's speakers. And of course, a special thank you to you at home for joining us. If you'd like to learn more, you can visit the web address on your screen. Once more, I'm Katie Bavoso. Thanks for watching.